Namaskar and good evening and welcome to Parliament News. I'm Gautam Roy and first up, let's talk about what happened in the Lok Sabha today. Well, Parliament approved Insurance Amendment Bill 2021 to increase foreign direct investment limit in the insurance sector from 49% to 74%, with the Lok Sabha passing the proposed law by a voice vote. The bill was passed in the Rajya Sabha last week. Piloting the bill, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said, hiking FDI limit in the insurance sector will help insurers raise additional funds and tide over the financial problems. She said the government will provide funds to the public sector insurance companies, but private players will have to raise capital on their own. Sitharaman said COVID-19 pandemic has further added to the woes of the insurance companies. She said FDI limit was being raised on the recommendations of insurance regulator IRDAI, which has done extensive consultations with stakeholders. The FDI limit in the insurance sector, the minister said, has increased significantly after the government decided to raise the cap from 26% to 49% in 2015. As much as 26,000 crore rupees has come into the sector as FDI since 2015, she said, adding the asset under management in this sector has grown by 76% during the last 5 years. Earlier, initiating the debate on the bill, Congress member Manish Tiwari said when the BJP was in the opposition, it opposed an increase in FDI, but now did a somersault after coming to power. He said that then UPA government could not breach the wall put up by late Sushma Swaraj and Arun Jaitley in both houses of parliament. Defending the bill, BJP member Jagdambika Pal said the measure is in the favour of India's growth story. He also noted that while FDI in the insurance sector will be increased, the government has put in place sufficient safeguards to keep in mind the interests of people. The centre today said the National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2021, which will make it clear that the government in Delhi means a Lieutenant Governor, has been brought to end ambiguity in running the affairs of the national capital and appeal to everyone not to term it as a political move, since it will be beneficial for the people of the city. The ruling Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi opposed the bill and urged the central government to take it back. Initiating the debate in the Lok Sabha, Minister of State for Home G. Kishan Reddy said the bill had become necessary as there has been ambiguity in certain issues related to the functioning of the Delhi government, and several cases were also filed in courts. The bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha on the 15th of March, following which Delhi ministers and AAP MPs, MLAs and councillors staged a protest at Jantar Mantar against it, saying it gives overarching powers to the Lieutenant Governor. The bill also makes it mandatory for the Delhi government to take the opinion of the LG before any executive action. According to the statement of objects and reasons of the bill, the original bill was enacted to supplement the provisions of the Constitution relating to the Legislative Assembly and a Council of Ministers for Delhi and for matters connected therein. The central government said it wanted to clarify the expression government, which in the context of legislations to be passed by the Delhi Assembly shall mean the LG of Delhi, consistent with the status of Delhi as a union territory to address the ambiguities in the interpretation of the legislative provisions. The BJP today demanded resignation of Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government in the wake of former Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh's claim that the state's Home Minister Anil Deshmukh set a 100 crore rupees collection target for the police every month and sought a CBI inquiry into the allegation. Raising the issue during zero hour in the Lok Sabha amidst protests by the Shiv Sena and the NCP, BJP member Manoj Kotak said that according to Singh's letter to the Chief Minister, the state's Home Minister had asked suspended Assistant Police Inspector Sachin Waze to collect 100 crore rupees from bars and restaurants in the metropolis every month. It is a serious matter. The Maharashtra Home Minister should resign. The Maharashtra government should resign and there should be a CBI probe into the whole issue, he said. Rakesh Singh of the BJP said the issue is so serious that it can't be termed a state subject as it has a national implication. Another BJP member, Kapil Patil, said it was not for the first time that such a letter has been written by a senior police officer. A DGP rank officer had written a similar letter in the past. However, Shiv Sena member Vinayak Raut strongly defended the MVA government and claimed that the BJP has been hatching a conspiracy to defame the Shiv Sena Congress NCP. Congress leader in Lok Sabha Ravneet Singh Bittu claimed that the central agencies were being used against opposition-ruled states on one or the other pretext. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today introduced the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development, that's the NABFID Bill 2021 in the Lok Sabha to pave the way for setting up of a government-owned DFI to fund infrastructure projects. The National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development will be set up with a corpus of 20,000 crore rupees and the government will give an initial grant of 5,000 crore rupees. The Lok Sabha has passed the Marine Aids to Navigation Bill 2021, which seeks to provide for a fresh framework to establish and manage vessel traffic services. Shipping and Waterways Minister Mansukh Lal Mandavia said the bill seeks to rename the existing Director General of Lighthouse and Light Ships as the Director General to provide a framework for establishment, operation and management of vessel traffic services. It aims at repealing the Colonial Lighthouse Act 1927 and provides for empowering the Director General of Lighthouses and Light Ships with additional powers and functions. It proposes to incorporate the best global practices, technological developments and India's international obligations in the field of marine navigation. India has 195 lighthouses, he informed the House. He said it regulates the state-of-the-art technologies of marine navigation, which earlier used to get tangled up in statutory provisions of the Lighthouse Act 1927. And let's now move on to what happened in the Rajya Sabha today. Well, the Rajya Sabha witnessed protests from the Treasury benches against Congress and Shiv Sena government in Maharashtra in connection with a letter by former Maharashtra DGP alleging that the State Home Minister was running an extortion racket. The protests led to adjournment of proceedings during question hour. The proceedings of the Rajya Sabha began with Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu making a reference to the World Water Day. 22nd of March is World Water Day, a day that is observed to advocate sustainable management of freshwater resources. This year, the United Nations theme of World Water Day is Valuing Water, which highlights the value of water going beyond its mere numerical price. Nominated member Narendra Jadhav raised the issue of cyber attacks on critical infrastructure. Dr. Sasmit Patra of the BJD raised the issue of subsidy for surplus rice for Odisha. Revati Raman Singh of Samajwadi Party, Shakti Singh Gohil, Neeraj Dangi of Congress, Manoj Kumar Jha of RJD, Ram Vichar Netam of BJP, K. Ravindra Kumar of TDP, Mamata Mohanta of the BJD, Bhagwat Karad of the BJP and Ramnath Thakur of JDU raised a matter of public importance. Parliament has passed the Mines and Mineral Development Regulation Amendment Bill 2021 with the Rajya Sabha approving it. The Lok Sabha passed it earlier. Speaking on the bill, Minister of Mines Prahlad Joshi said the bill was necessary to ensure exploration of huge reserves of coal in India. Describing it as a progressive bill that will bring a big change, he said before Modi ji's arrival, everything worked on discretion, licenses were issued by whim. We brought in transparency. This is a progressive bill and we bring a big change. We're ending the difference between captive and non-captive mines. The state's lackadaisical approach has often forced us to import minerals that are available here. Congress member Digvijay Singh wanted to refer the bill to a select committee. Later, the Rajya Sabha took up the Constitution Scheduled Caste Order Amendment Bill 2021. The bill amends the Constitution Scheduled Caste Order 1950. It replaces the entry for the Devdrakura Than community with Devdrakura Velavar, which includes the communities that are currently listed separately within the Act. Now, these are Devendra Kulathan 2, Kalidi 3, Kudubam 4, Palan 5, Panadi and 6, Vetirian. The separate entries have been omitted. The 1950 order also includes the Kadayan community within the list of notified SCs in the state. The bill creates a distinction for the Kadayan community based on residence. The separate entry for the Kadayan community is replaced with Kadayan community from these 7 districts. Members of the Kadayan community living in other districts are included in Devdra Kulavar Velalar grouping. The bill was moved for consideration by Social Justice Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot. Initiating a discussion on the bill, Leader of Opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, while lauding the purpose of the bill, said that it has been brought with the sole purpose of garnering votes in the Tamil Nadu Assembly polls. Speaking during the debate, Bhupendra Yadav of the BJP criticized the Congress for trying to convolute the process of reservation to provide reservation for lower castes. He said that the Kalelkar committee recommendations as well as that by Mandal Commission were not implemented properly and promptly by the Congress. Manoj Kumar Jha of the RJD said that there is a lot of talk on B.R. Ambedkar by the BJP, but his teachings are not being implemented. Sanjay Singh of the AAP said that the BJP had opposed the recommendations of the Mandal Commission for OBC reservation. Satish Chandra Mishra of the BSP said that reservation in Uttarakhand for SCs has been completely negated. Responding to the debate, Social Justice Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot said that the bill has nothing to do with Tamil Nadu elections. He said that it is the BJP-led NDA government which has been the greatest benefactor of the backward castes. He said that the BJP government has no intention of ending reservations. He said that from the time of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the BJP government has adhered to the teachings of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Later, the House passed the bill. The bill was passed earlier in the Lok Sabha. And that's all we have at the moment in this edition of Parliament News. For all the latest, stay tuned to DD India.